Beit HaEmek, now a kibbutz, Amka, now a moshev. The name of kibbutz Beit HaEmek is taken from what is written in the book of Joshua. The settlement was in the area of the tribe of Asher, and it was forbidden to work in agriculture in the 7th year. And so probably also the origin of the name Amka. Some attribute Amka to the village of Emiko mentioned in the Gemara. Antiquities from the Neolithic period were found at the site about 10,000 years ago, as well as from the Canaanite-Israeli period. Settlements and hewn aqueducts, which operated from the Roman-Byzantine period to the Ottoman period, were discovered. And some speculate that it began in the Persian period. Antiquities were also found in Beit HaEmek. Some speculate that at the time of the Crusaders, Beit HaEmek was called Khiktum, which belonged to the Hospitallers about 900 years ago. And perhaps Druze later sat in it. In the Ottoman period there was in the Beit HaEmek a Muslim Arab village Kuakat. And in Amka there was an Arab village of the same name. During the War of Independence, the Arab Rescue Army took over the villages of Amka and Kukat. After the IDF occupied Acre and Naharia, the forces turned to occupy the rest of the western Galilee in Operation Dekel. The residents of the villages of Amka and Kuakat refused to surrender. An IDF force that left Moshev Regba on the 8th night of July 1948 with 2 armored vehicles shelled Kuakat and encountered resistance. After an exchange of fire, IDF forces entered and found the village almost empty and deserted. The next day the occupying force was fired from the direction of Amka. At night infantry and armored forces came out from both directions. After a short battle the village of Amka was captured and the inhabitants fled. The next day, the battle continued to the nearby villages of Abu Sanan, Yarka and Kafar Yassif, but they surrendered and remained in place. After the establishment of the state, kibbutz Beit HaEmek was established on the village of Kuakat. Its founders were Jewish immigrants from Hungary together with members of the Habanim and Scout movements. Moshev Amka was established by Jewish immigrants from Yemen. A school of the ultra-Orthodox Agudat Israel was built, and a school of religious workers belonging to the Histadrut and the Mapai Party, whose founders included Professor Yeshayahu Leibowitz. Disputes between the residents who wanted an ultra-Orthodox education, and threats from Mapai members not to give them a job, led to a crisis that reached the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. In 1983, a community settlement, Asherah, was established as an extension of the Amka Moshev.